TNA Impact, November 19th, 2005. We watched this episode specifically because it is Christian Cade's Impact debut after showing up at TNA Genesis.
Yeah, and they show a recap of TNA Genesis at the beginning of the show, and it reminded me that there was Samoa Joe's match with Daniels where he kills him, and that's where the bloody towel comes in, which is one of my favorite areas of Joe.
Oh, absolutely. This is also what we need to do. I think wrestling just needs more music videos in general. This is why Deadlock will win the Wrestling War.
Well, we are building a team for Deadlock, for DPW. We had the team. More boys are coming.
Oh, every episode of DPW will feature music videos.
It sure, even if it's irrelevant, just has one on there of a wrestler.
Yeah, it's the perfect way. I mean, people love music. People love beating people up. It works.
This episode of Impact did a 0.6.
Well, they'd only been on TV for a few months at this point, right?
Yeah, not long. I feel like this was also a Saturday show for some reason.
Yeah, it was only an hour or two.
The competition.
Oh, for the love of God.
Monday Night Raw did a 4.5.
That was pretty close.
Yeah. TNA just had a couple things. They needed a couple incidents to happen.
Yeah, it would have been all right.
For the Papa rating, yeah.
This is the follow-up episode to Genesis 2005. This is where Christian Cage showed up and swerved Team Canada. He's not joining that team.
I mean, it would have been cool if he did, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Jarrett was.
He could have at least joined for like a week or something, right?
Yeah, they should have kept the swerve till Impact, so he could carry around
how about
a hockey stick
5
flag.
minutes?
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I guess I'll take that.
We are now on the road to Turning Point 2005 for TNA, which is the poster with the Deli Boys on it. I think I got that DVD about 500 times in the brown bag special from TNA.
I probably still own that DVD. I'm pretty sure that poster is also hanging up in the building during the show.
Oh, it is. Yeah, in the background. You're right.
Yeah.
Dude,
I miss those brown bag specials. Now you bring that up.
They just do a regular bag thing now. It's not as cool.
What was it was a Don West thing.
Yeah, it was a Don West thing. What's he doing now? We should get him to shill our merch.
He should be one of the commentators. Is you, Tony, and Don West.
That would rule, actually.
That would actually be really fucking neat.
That would be sweet.
So let's look at Genesis really quick. So they had a couple of dark matches on Genesis. They had Shark Boy beat Nigel McGuinness.
What?
Yeah, I guess
Nigel wasn't as big of a deal in 05.
Right, it's just crazy to read that, especially because he comes to the company later.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Diamonds in the Rough, which was David Young, Elite Skipper, and Simon Diamond, ended up beating Lance Hoyt and the Naturals.
That's our editor.
I know, isn't that crazy? He lost on the damn kickoff. That's probably why he got good at editing.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of time. A whole lot of show there.
We had Raven beat PJ Polacco, which is just incredible.
This was in the dark?
No, that was the first match on the actual show.
Okay. I was gonna say
Raven was like a big deal for them in 2005.
Raven ruled.
Yeah.
Did he win the title in 05 or was that the year before?
I'm not sure actually. Did he wrestle Rhino this year?
It might have been this year, yeah.
It might have been at the same show as they had the triple threat match. Unbreakable.
Maybe. Oh, maybe. It could be, yeah. Something
or maybe this entire year Jeff Jarrett held the belt.
That's also very
2005,
possible.
I think it says he won the title.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes, and then Jarrett won it back.
In Canada. On a show that wasn't a TNA show. It was an indie show.
We had a 6-man tag team hockey fight with Kip James as the special guest referee. It was 3 live crew of BG James, Conan, and Ron Killings versus Team Canada, which was A1, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young. After the hockey stick fight, we had Monty Brown versus Jeff Harvey.
Jeff Harvey.
And
I think I remember this match being really good.
I think I remember that match rolling. I think I remember Jeff Hardy taking a crazy pounce in that match, too.
Monty Brown beat that ass. He was actually getting a pretty good big push until he didn't.
I mean, the fact that he didn't win the title once is nuts.
Especially here where they had him in the main event.
Yeah, he was ready before they realized he was ready.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So after that, we had Team Ministry, which was Alex Shelley, Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, and Samoa Joe. And they beat Team Ministry. They beat Austin Aries, Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley with Tracy, and Sanjay Dutt in a 4-on-4 Elimination X match.
What the fuck?
This was the longest match on the show.
That sounds like a What team ministry?
Team Ministry.
I remember
that. Abyss beat Sabu in a no DQ match.
Okay.
Which will lead later to Turning Point 2005, where they have the barbed wire match.
Barbed wire massacre.
They actually say something weird about that later. I'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
AJ Styles beat Petey Williams with A1 in a singles match for the X Division title.
Okay.
And the main event was Team 3D and Rhino, and they beat AMW and Jeff Jarrett.
Planet Jarrett.
What a weird main event for a...
That's a weird card in general.
It just seems weird to me that's their main event, but...
Yeah. So we move on. We have Samoa Joe kicking off the show here against Jarrell Clark, who is Mr. 630.
Dude.
Sadly, you don't get to see that.
I was waiting for that 6:30 the entire time.
I was hoping he would at least miss it.
Yeah, I know. I love Joe Clark, dude.
He actually did the little finger thing too, the Kid Cash finger thing.
He did,
dude, the finger thing. I love that.
Dude, Joe was laying it in this match. He kicked the goddamn shit out of Jarrell Clark.
Well, 2005 was like his big. This was his coming out year.
He was the guy.
Yeah,
he was the guy. Yeah, that was the same year as the Kobashi match. That was the same year as the Necro match. He was the guy.
So Joe is still on his unbeaten streak in TNA. He had the unbeaten streak in ROH too, and he had it coming over to TNA.
He was champion for, was it 21 months?
Yeah, he went 2 years in ROH without losing too.
It was a long time. Yeah,
Joe didn't lose for like 4 years, which is awesome. Crazy.
But he was fucking awesome. It didn't it was totally believable too.
This was Joe was a completely different animal at this point. Like you had said earlier, he destroyed Daniels at Genesis. He got him bloody, got blood on the towel.
That shit awesome.
He beat the fucking shit out of Jarrell Clark. At this point, these were my favorite Joe combos because he was still able to do everything. There was no limitations to anything that he could do. He was doing like the Noir Lancer, like the single leg kick, and he'd do it into the senton. He stopped doing that later because it was just a lot of bumps right in a row.
Well, a lot of things. I mean, there's pre and post era of Joe when he did the diving dropkick on the stairs. This thing.
I feel like he was slowing down even after that. I feel like 2008-ish, like even when he was getting the world title, he still he had changed up a lot of stuff just because he had gotten so beaten up.
He was also bigger too.
He was bigger, and he was just wrestling a lot. He was wrestling a lot of dudes, and he was doing.
That's another guy that's another guy they waited way too long to put the belt on.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, by the time he'd done it, Joe was 2005, 2006 is when he should have probably had the belt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. They waited way too long, and then they had him give the fucking belt to Angle. I have a lot of complaints.
A lot of things to talk about. He muscle busted him, which was the muscle buster at this point. Like you see it now, and it's a move, but back then he would literally jump, and it was like the Kinniku Buster. He would literally get air on it.
Crunch you. You would get crunched on that.
And then he submitted with a Coquina Clutch afterwards. No one had been able to get out of that move yet.
No. And he held it on after the match, and I think Mike TNA says he's going to kill him.
TNA and West, they really put him over every single time.
They were the best.
They were scared of him. They would move away when he was making his entrance. It was cool.
That's so cool.
So AJ Styles comes on the Tron afterwards, and he said, "Hey, you broke the code of respect in the X Division." And
the code of honor.
Joe turned away. He said, "Don't you turn away from me." I was like, damn, how'd they get that in the pre-tape?
That's pretty good acting.
So AJ Styles says, this doesn't happen very often, but at Turning Point, Joe, it's going to be champion challenging a challenger at a challenge. And I said,
True.
Here it goes. So apparently he's going to be challenging Joe at Turning Point because he beat the shit out of his best friend, Chris Daniels.
They did make a big deal about the champion challenging the challenger, which I thought was cool.
I thought that was cool. They did this a lot in early TNA where they would make a lot of, they'd make sure that all the holes are filled in the things that they did. So that was pretty cool. After that, Jeff Jarrett comes out with Gail Kim, and he asks Mike TNA, what is my match at Turning Point? And he says, bro, first off, you know your match. Second off, you can ask Larry Zbyszko. And he goes, where is Zbyszko? And he goes, I don't know where Zbyszko is. So I'm going to go find him. Keep in mind.
He definitely asked him a few times. He was like, you know what my match is? He said, no, Larry Zbyszko said he's going to decide later on. He says, well, tell me what my match is. He said, I just told you. I don't know.
And Jarrett knows, later on we learned that Jarrett already knew what the match was. He just didn't want it to be that, as though he wanted Zbyszko to change it. Yeah. Jarrett, by the way, runs the company. So, anyways,
yes. No
Jared
one
is
thought
doing
that he
it.
was not
AVP thing
owner.
all over again. You know,
Yeah.
it just all makes it.
So we move on to AMW. They are the World Tag Team Champions at this point, and they face off against Sonny Siaki and Apollo.
Sonny Siaki is a guy that I swore was going to be a big deal.
I thought so too on the early part of Impact and stuff.
But maybe
Yeah.
that's because I was like, oh, he's The Rock. And The Rock is cool.
Well, they did use him a lot.
Yeah, it just didn't work
click.
out. He joined,
Yeah.
he was like there. He joined Sports Entertainment Extreme. He had a girl. And then after that group broke up, I just kind of didn't do anything with him ever.
Apollo here has one L in his name. That's pretty cool.
And he's got a bandana.
Yeah, he does. So they go into this match. They do a few hip tosses and they cut to commercial. They come back. I was hoping Mike TNA would say we kept the tapes running for this one, but he did not. Sadly, I guess they started turning the tapes off.
There was a sign in the crowd that said, "Are you gonna cowboy up or are you gonna bleed?" What the hell does that mean?
You know damn well what it means.
And there was also a pussycat chant for the Wildcat, Chris Harris.
There was
of
some
course.
fuck chants tonight. Yeah, there was some crazy stuff going
my.
on.
Yes, there was. I forgot about that.
This was 2005. Keep that in mind.
That's
Sonny
true.
Siaki and Apollo, they did a pretty cool move in this match where they hit a super kick into a backstabber for a close
That
count.
was cool. I did like that.
Apollo immediately tries to go for a plancha to the outside, and Storm smacks the shit out of him with a bottle.
Yeah, just brings a bottle over his head as Apollo's doing a house show dive. It's cool.
It was really good, actually. He
It was.
nailed him with it.
Yeah.
And then they hit the death sentence, and AMW beats Sonny Siaki and Apollo.
Just want to remind people, it is called the death sentence, the move that they do.
Yes.
That is the name of the move.
AMW
Yes.
erasure will not be tolerated around here.
Absolutely not.
After this match, AMW gets a table out, and Chris Harris grabs a spray can and spray paints 3B on the table.
I'm so glad I wrote that down too.
I also wrote down, since the Dudleys can't read, they took offense to this and ran out.
3B. Why the fuck? How do you fuck that up?
So Team 3B versus AMW in a tables match at Turning Point
bubble-
2005.
The bubblies.
A little bit of bubblies. So they end up taking the table that they wrote 3B on, and then they threw it at the ramp. And I for sure
Oh,
thought,
they chucked it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
chucked it.
I
was
for
It was
sure
crazy.
thought someone was going to get hurt in the crowd.
Yeah, Demon also had the titties out.
Oh, you damn right he did. He's one of the
True.
back then. He came out with the titties out and then put them up when the match started, and then put them back down later.
It's unlimited. He always said, "I got this source right here, and I ain't gonna show it to you till later."
Team 3D worked TNA for like probably longer than they worked WWE,
It was a long time.
Yeah.
and they fucking buried him on that show with Hogan. You remember that, where they're like, "Oh, they're in fucking Japan, huh?
Yeah,
In fucking Japan."
Yeah.
Like these
Fat
guys
Bubba
were. I was.
fat.
Can't call him fat. Damn. Yeah. I was just thinking about it as I was watching. I'm like, damn, they were here forever, and they still buried him. I'm like, that's
Yeah, they-
crazy that they would do
Yeah.
that, especially on
I mean,
obligations that they were forced to do.
I know.
I
Fuck.
mean if you guys haven't listened, go back and check out our review of the January 4th, 2010 Impact to hear us talk about that, because that was quite the show.
Yeah, the Nasty Boys came in and said, "Oh, they're in Japan. Well, fuck them, and they're fat."
Yeah, fuck them and fuck how fat they are, fat fatties.
Yeah, as they're Brian Knobs just eating donuts.
Yeah.
So Jeff Jarrett is backstage with Shane Douglas, the franchise, and
Yes.
they're at Larry Zbysko's office. Gail Kim is with Jeff Jarrett at this point, and Gail Kim calls Larry Zbysko on the phone, and well, she didn't get an answer.
No, Jeff Jarrett wanted some answers, and Larry Zbysko was not giving them.
He was in the office the whole time, by the way.
Yeah, he's just doing an answer. Fuck you, Jeff Jarrett.
3 Live Crew gets a video package, and it's actually a pretty long video package.
A long video package.
Yeah, I was actually confused because at first I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I was looking at it and I kept peeking back at it, and I'm like, it's still going.
Did they
This is
replay
crazy.
the video package? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so of course, 3 Live Crew was Conan, R-Truth, and BG James. And
Yes.
Billy Gunn joined TNA. And of course, Billy Gunn and BG James are boys, right?
Yes.
Well, that becomes an issue. And then this is the part where we start getting into BG James and Billy Gunn teaming up.
Right. And there's dissension within the 3 Live Crew because the 3 Live Crew don't like Kip James.
Yeah, and I don't blame them.
No, he sucked.
So we, of course, after the video package, you get more 3 Live Crew. They're backstage with Shane Douglas. Road Dogg says, I have time on TV next week. And then R-Truth goes, what?
You do? Why the fuck don't we know about that?
And then he says, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Conan then approaches him and says, maybe you should go back to rehab. Oh, fuck.
He buried him this whole segment. He said, what, have you been painting in an unventilated room?
What the
fuck was that?
That's brutal.
Conan was just taking liberties here. Then Conan said, what are you doing, bro? It ain't even ratings week. You need to tell us what's up. And Road Dogg said, I will not do that.
Yeah, see ya.
So 3 Live Crew, this is about over with real quick.
Yeah.
Abyss and Rhino are the main event of this evening, as later on we have Christian Cage having a promo. So the main event match of this evening is Abyss versus Rhino.
Yes.
Rhino is getting a world's title match.
Rhino is also in great fucking shape here.
Did you see during the entrance of this a super weird transition cut in Abyss's entrance? Did anyone else see that?
Yes, I did.
It transitioned to the same video.
Right.
I don't know why.
Did somebody accidentally stop recording and then start?
Maybe.
Did they run out of tape?
The
They
tapes.
must have, yeah.
Yeah, they ran out of tape.
Tapes were running. So Rhino comes out. He does not have the Deadlock D on his back.
Bullshit.
So I wrote, I hope Abyss whoops his ass.
And he did.
Well, yeah, for a minute. Today says, other companies have done barbed wire massacre matches before, as they're talking about Abyss and Sabu at Turning Point. And they said, these companies, they never even use the barbed wire in the matches. Abyss and Sabu will use it. And I was wondering, what the fuck is he talking about?
Is it the cage match?
Who else had done a barbed wire massacre at this point that pissed TNA off?
I don't know if it was a barbed wire massacre, but I know JBL and Big Show did the barbed wire cage.
They never even used the barbed wire. Those big pieces of shit.
Is that what he's talking? That was razor wire anyway.
Was it?
The razor wire massacre? Are you dare question the word of the Mighty Mike?
I wonder.
I don't know why he was pissed.
It was definitely talking about WWE, right? I don't know who else he would be talking about.
I don't either. I don't
what
know.
other barbed wire matches were there that they didn't use the
Fuck
barbed wire?
you,
I can't even think of it.
FFW.
Yeah, he was talking about that shitty IWA Mid-South bullshit. Ian Rotten and his stupid massacre matches.
We watched House of Hardcore. We know you cut the barbs.
So in this match, Abyss attempted a hip toss, and I about cracked up laughing. Abyss at this point is very much a monster hell-bent on killing people.
He is a murderer.
Not yet. That's 2007. That's 2007.
But I mean, he's he's got a murder.
He's getting there. He's got some bodies.
He has his dad with him, right?
We don't know it's his dad yet.
Yeah, that could be anybody. We don't know who this is. We really don't know what's going on in this match because Abyss went for a hip toss. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why would you hip toss Rhino?
Rhino probably called it, honestly. Rhino's like, hip toss.
Hip toss. He said, okay.
Sure.
Rhino is very over here.
Yeah,
I mean,
he ruled.
Rhino, at this point in the match, we're getting towards the end. Rhino sets up for a gore through a table on Abyss. But Abyss moves, and I love this so much because every time that Rhino does a gore into something, it just gets disintegrated every time.
He obliterated this fucking table and he gored the table.
It was awesome. The lights go out, and I'll be damned. Mike Tenay already knew what was going to happen. He's like, every time the lights go out, it's Sabu, and here's Sabu.
I was very excited for it to be Sabu because anytime there's ever a lights out spot, even on AEW that we're going to talk about, I think Sabu.
He comes in with a barbed wire steel chair, and he put a little extra barbed wire on that joint.
Yeah, it was wrapped. It was like tinfoil.
Abyss ends up looking... aluminum. He looks... Abyss goes, whoa, whoa. And then he turns around, and Rhino fucking destroys him.
Just goes right through him.
Don West is freaking out. He loves the gore. It's his favorite move.
It's mine too.
So Rhino ends up beating Abyss with the gore. Of course, this is the time where Rhino is very much so in the main event, which eventually transfers over to Rhino and Christian Cage doing a lot of fun stuff too.
Rhino had a really good TNA run. I just remember he had a bunch of good stuff.
He fucking ruled, man. I mean, they could have. It's not that I will besmirch the good name of Jeff Jarrett, but Rhino could have definitely had, a longer title run than he did.
Yeah.
Free
woo. There's also, they didn't show it, but I'm pretty sure that Sabu, while Rhino was pinning Abyss through the barbed wire chair at James Mitchell, because later they cut to Sabu and he's going to pick it up from where James Mitchell was. They just didn't show it at all.
Well, I'm sure they shoot at this point. They probably taped multiple times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
So Larry Zbyszko is backstage. Jeff Jarrett finally gets in the room where Larry Zbyszko's just been hanging out all show. I mean, he's been there the whole time. Jeff Jarrett talks to him, and Zbyszko goes, "Can you please get the fuck out of here, bro? I already told you that it's you versus Rhino."
Yeah,
and he said,
away from me.
Said, "Well, what about Raven?" And then Larry Zbyszko goes, "I thought you hate Raven." He goes, "I do hate Raven."
I do hate him, but fair is fair.
Jarrett says that he hates how TNA management is running it, because it's not Zbyszko, it's TNA management. And he does not like how TNA management is running things.
Yeah, fuck TNA's bosses.
I hate Jeff Jarrett, says Jeff Jarrett.
He also said, "What about Monty Brown?" And Zbyszko says, "I thought you hated Monty Brown."
I do hate Monty Brown.
Really good.
I do hate Monty Brown.
So after that, we get to the big part of the evening. It's the Christian Cage TNA Impact debut.
Yeah, buddy. And
that
the crowd was fired up for this. Yes.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
That theme song is so good.
Christian comes out with a short sleeve brown shirt on over a long sleeve black shirt with bootcut jeans and Timbs.
He was ready to go.
This is the most 2005 person I've ever seen in my entire life.
He was finally allowed to be himself.
That's how I used to dress all the time, man.
I know. It's such a 2005 fit, right? It really is.
I used to wear the shirt with the long sleeve shirt underneath it.
Yeah, dude. That was the look back then. People loved that shit.
Christian says, I didn't come to TNA because I got fired or because I had nowhere else to go. I came to TNA because this is the place to be, and I came to get the damn respect I deserve and to take the NWA World title.
Dude, at this time, TNA was the place to be, though. It was crazy.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, he does get the respect he deserves. This is probably easily his definitive wrestling run.
Which sucks because I feel like he does not think fondly of this run.
He hates TNA.
Well, we were talking about it the other night when he had to come back.
I feel like he has never, post TNA, said a good word about TNA ever. Even during the Slammiversary thing when he came back, I still feel like he didn't want to say anything nice. So he's like, TNA, it's about you, the fans. The fans never change.
I'm so happy to be back here for my peeps.
Why do you never like TNA?
Same reason everyone else didn't like it. I don't, because he wasn't around during the Hogan era. I guess maybe he just thought, again, it's another thing where that it could have been better and that they probably made a lot of mistakes.
I don't know. I liked all the Christian stuff in TNA, though. I
mean, for to be honest with you, dude, out of anyone, you would think that he would, just because I feel like they treated him, they put him on a pedestal a lot of the time.
They gave him the NWA World title.
He didn't take a pin for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's...
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, he lost Triple Threats and King of the Mountains and stuff, but he never took a pin until super late in his career in TNA.
He's got to watch that video that Lance Archer made for us.
He would love it.
Shout out.
He would love it. He'd probably be like, shit, TNA was the best time of my life. I love TNA. I'm going back, baby.
I'm going back. Cross the line again.
Christian goes, because that's how I roll. And then Monty Brown goes, skirt.
He said, you can hit the brakes on that garbage.
Garbage? I love that today said that. He goes, you hit it, goes that garbage. Garbage.
It says, Dorothy, you are not up north anymore. Welcome to the Serengeti.
Oh. Monty Brown then proceeded to roast the fuck out of Christian for 6 minutes.
He says that atrocity of a shirt and those Bob the Builder boots you're wearing should not be worn ever.
That was really good.
And he is swagged out of his mind, bro. Monty Brown looks crazy.
Oh my God.
He always looked good.
Yeah, he was a main eventer from the start, bro.
The crowd started chanting what at Monty Brown, and then Monty Brown said, I'll tell you idiots what if you kept your damn mouth closed. And they stopped saying what immediately.
Yeah, you're gonna feel the pounce.
Christian then said, yeah, Monty, well, I think you like to pounce on men. And then
he said,
Christian said, yeah, that's all right, though. I mean, you can pounce on me if you want to.
Yeah. Thank you, Christian.
And then the crowd started chanting, Monty is gay. And I was like...
it wasn't a little chant either. It was like everyone was chanting, Monty is gay.
That's Florida. There you go. Christian then cut off Monty Brown before he could say to pounce. And then he said it. I was like, oh my God, he took his shit.
Disrespectful. Can't do that.
And then Monty beat the fucking shit out of
Monty, Christian says, unless you're not enough, you should go find somebody else to pounce, period. And then Monty punches him in the face.
Don't steal his shit.
Yeah, fuck off. Christian tries fighting back, but then Monty hits him with a pounce and killed him with it. Christian took it right into the ropes. It looked awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was very brutal.
Yeah.
Very brutal. Fantastic way doing the show. I was very happy that they ended up with Monty Brown on top here.
I agree. Yeah.
I thought that was good. I'm glad that Christian was cool with that too.
Yeah, welcome
That's
to
probably why I
welcome to
hated
Big
it,
Leagues.
man. They booked Monty Brown over me right away.
He made fun of my boots. I got Bob the Builder boots. This place sucks.
Yeah, I swear to God, I will wear the same brown shirt, the fucking black shirt, and fucking I'll wear it every time.